Good morning, half my class. Half my class is gone. You know what, Hudson and Giselle, if you guys want to come up closer, be closer to the action. So, let's just talk about where we are, review what we've done so far. When you look at that map of Russia and those 5 states, what is it that we're looking at? Talk to me about what we're looking at. What are we looking at? Say it nice and loud, Kenny.
You're looking at the nation states, the Soviet Union.
Right, or the 5 that we're focused on right now, right? So there's Lithuania, Belarus, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan. And those are the 5 that we're looking at. So remind me what a nation is. Remind yourselves, what is a nation? That was in your geo terms. Shayna and Ben. Nation. What distinguishes a nation?
There's a large group of people who share common history.
Yes, okay. Common history, common language, common identity. So is a nation necessarily a country? No. A nation is not necessarily a country. A nation is a large group of people who identify with one another through history and language and other cultural things that they have in common.
Is the school a nation, like high school, middle school, elementary school?
Do you think, is it like the Williamston Community Schools, the nation of Williamston Schools? I don't know. I don't know. I would say, like, if you want to use the Spartan Nation as an example of nation, that's one thing, because we have this common, all these people who have this common love of Michigan State.
Maybe we should do the Michigan, like, state nation. Because then it's like we all live in Michigan, that's what we have in common.
We
Like,
do,
like
but,
the state of Michigan,
but
not
even
common.
within the state of Michigan, we have lots of subgroups of people, and that brings up what we talked about, ethnic group. What's an ethnic group?
A group of ethnics.
What's an ethnic group? Look back at your geoterms if you're trying to remember.
Here, okay, I got this.
You do have this. What's an ethnic group?
It's a group of people who share the same culture, and
Right.
they're all.
You got it, okay? A group of people who are united by their culture, by their history. So, the difference between an ethnic group and a nation is the number of people and the political organization that goes along with that. So when we talk about the former Soviet Union, we talked about the fact that it was made up of so many different ethnic groups. And those ethnic groups identified more with one another than they did with their whole country or their nation. So look at your notes for section 18.2. And let's review why the Soviet Union fell apart. Why did it collapse? Why did it collapse? Look at those 5 components that are necessary for the success of a nation state. In your notes, you should see that. Yes, you've got it. All right, so one of the things that is important in terms of the success of a nation state is security. Do you have security written down? You do. Security meaning that the nation state provides for the safety of its people, keeps it free from harm from enemies. And what happened in the Soviet Union? Did the people in the Soviet Union feel secure? No, because of what? Okay, among other things, there was a secret police. So the Soviet Union, the people in the Soviet Union felt like they were being watched and controlled and did not feel secure. What about political freedom? That's the second component of a successful nation state, political freedom. Say more about they had none.
Well, everyone was afraid that the project fell, but the secret police would get the say.
Okay, so, political freedom meaning, we have the right to elect our leaders and determine and have a voice in our government. And was that true in the Soviet Union? No, it was not. Soviet Union was run by dictators who controlled the government and controlled the comings and goings of people. And so that was the second component. What was the third component? What's the third one? Economic growth. Economic growth means the gross domestic product, the total value of goods and services in a country, in a year, continues to rise year by year by year. And what happened in the Soviet Union? Slow growth or no growth in terms of gross domestic product. So slow or no economic growth. And how about quality of life? That's the fourth component, quality of life. Did that improve?
No.
How do you measure quality of life? Say it out loud, nice and loud.
Safe food, clean water, medical care.
Right, right. Safe food, clean water, adequate medical care, those basic needs that makes life comfortable and livable. The state didn't provide that in the Soviet Union. Okay, so, fifth component, what was that?
National unity.
National unity. And when we talked about national unity, we talked about the concept of nationalism. What's nationalism? Keith, tell me about nationalism. Exactly. Okay, so that feeling of loyalty and pride and love of your country. And in Soviet Union, who did people more identify with? We talked about this right at the beginning. Was there national unity in the Soviet Union?
No.
Why not?
They didn't have security.
They didn't, and they also identified more with their ethnic group than with their country. So their loyalty was to a particular group, an ethnic group. So many different people. So when the Soviet Union fell apart, those ethnic groups formed nation states. And that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at whether or not these particular nation states have been and will continue to be successful based on the criteria that we just talked about in terms of what does make a successful nation state. Okay? Are you with me? You're looking a little sleepy out there. All right, let's look at this data because we're gonna, I just wanna make sure that as you go through your rankings, you're understanding the numbers. So this is GDP per capita, this is measured in US dollars. And remember that we said one of the characteristics of a successful nation state is growth, economic growth. So you're looking at whether or not GDP per capita increases over time. So you've got data from 1990 to 2010 for each of these countries. And you're looking at whether or not there's economic growth. You're good on that one? Yeah? Unemployment. This number is a percentage. So the higher the number, the greater the unemployment in the country. So you're looking at whether or not people are working. Check out Belarus. That's pretty devastating. And you have other countries too to compare to on the backside of that. You're looking at life expectancy. The higher the number, the longer the life. You with me, right? Look at their faces. They're very sleepy.
Wait, am I allowed to ask questions?
He's doing that for me.
Oh,
Yeah, this is for me. That's all. And this one, when you're looking at ethnic diversity and religious diversity, what's the goal here? What is this data telling you?
fractions.
Hey, David. Okay, we're looking at, thank you, sir. You are looking at the potential for conflict and tension within a nation state. So, multiple ethnic groups and religious groups could potentially mean conflict. So that's what you're looking for there. This one, my favorite, the Freedom Index ranking.
That's awful.
Remember that the lower the number, the higher the degree of freedom. And
So is the civil number, like,
Okay.
I see it
Remember we
exceeds
were-
5.
we talked about two basic kinds of rights,
Yeah.
civil rights and political rights. So civil rights meaning freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion, those kinds of freedoms that we enjoy here. Political freedom meaning, do we have free and fair elections? Can we vote for who we want? Can we run for office if we want? So civil rights and political rights. And USA gets a ranking of 1. That's your indicator that the lower the number, the higher the degree of freedom. And I think that's it. Oh, the crime index. Okay? When you look at the poverty line, we looked at this yesterday, this means the percentage of people living in poverty. So below the poverty line means you're living in poverty. And so the higher the number, the greater the poverty. Pay attention to this here, the crime index, overall level of crime. Levels of more than 100 are too high. Up to 50 is reasonable. But with the safety index, it's just the other way around. If the city has a high safety index, it's considered very safe. So. Got that?
You got it.
I feel like maybe you should have brought your blankets with you today. Okay, so you can go back to ranking those countries, back to where you were doing before, all right? Nice.
You know what, I was so sorry.
I didn't have a shoulder, just because I didn't have a shoulder.
That's going to be strong.
Okay, I'm eavesdropping on your conversation.
Like, okay.
All right.
At the end, where you can see although they have good GDP growth, they have bad. So like, yeah, or religious conflict. Just like
I can't turn it off.
yeah.
Okay, just ask me.
Okay, is the higher the number,
That's the
longer
age.
they live?
Uh-huh. It just means, how long would you expect to live in Lithuania? In 1976, you could expect that the average lifespan was 70 years.
So it's
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yes.
The U.S. France, yeah, I know. France is just
I would go get the papers that we have. Thank you.
So let's give him a 2. That's pretty good.
So, 25. Am I on camera?
Yeah.
I can sue you for copyright.
Sue me.
Yeah.
Nah, don't sue me. How about get your stuff out and get
I'm waiting for Brianna. She has all the papers in her.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So what's all this filming for? You're making me suspicious.
Well, I can't get that